with me. I got to get, all right, here we go. Come on, Russ. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Russ is acting crazy. When I want it to act right, it doesn't act right. I got to get better internet. Woman. Thank you so much for tuning into the ultimate business conversation with myself, Danya Zimmerman, the powerful biz woman. And I am so excited to have one of my good friends here. We have been friends for years, and I've known her. We worked together. We've known each other for almost 20 years because knew her before her second son was born. So I'm just so excited to have my friend on with me. And her name is, she's a guest educator, Aretha Williams, investigative consultant. And what I'm going to do is I am going to have Aretha introduce herself. Aretha, just give us a little background information about yourself and how you became an investigative consultant.
Well, I started out years ago working on a contract with Danya. Um, and I started out doing a lot of things that I do now. So um, I was always a consultant doing certain things. So I just decided to add everything in one group and put it under one business. And that's why I said it's called investigative consulting business. I am not an attorney, nor am I a private investigator. So, pretty much what I cover is a lot of. I used to work with attorneys, and now I'm trying to get contracts again, as far as doing DNA testing, process service. I do pre-employment screenings, background searches, and people searches, and I also do field inspections and mystery shopping and so forth, stuff like that. And most of the time, I source the work out to specific individuals.
Okay, that is good. And tell them a little bit about your how you decided to get into the investigation field as an investigative consultant. Tell us a little bit about your background, like
Okay.
your life experiences and your work history.
Okay. Well, I've always been nosy, so now I just get paid to be nosy. So I started out as a paralegal when I worked with Ms. Zimmerman. At the time, she was practicing law, and I want to give a big shout out to Ms. Zimmerman because I would have known how to do any of this without her. It was times that she would come to me and ask me, "Do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do process service and process serving? Do you? I need someone to do DNA testing for some of my clients." And I started researching and learned how to do most of the things that I do through her. I also left that contract and I went on another contract and I began um, being a special investigator, and I contracted with Department of Homeland Security, which I still do. Not only Department of Homeland Security, Defense. I did have a contract with Department of State. I gave that up in 2019. Things were getting a little bit too hard. I was caring for my father, so I had to let some things go at the moment. But as of now, I'm still a background field investigator, and I've been doing that for 14 years. So I've been pretty much self-employed for 14 years doing that, and I just add everything else into my repertoire.
That's real good. So, um, do you like being an employee or being your own boss? And tell us
I
why.
love being my own boss. I love being my own boss. It has its perks. It's nothing like working and getting a check every 2 weeks, but I love being my own boss. I love the freedom. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. And that's why I just, decided to continue to do the things that I do. As a background investigator, I always used to meet people on a daily basis. I don't like going into an office setting every day, dealing with the same people, with the same office politics. I just don't like that. But sometimes I will pick up a job if they need me to work. I will work. Or sometimes when you're self-employed, you have to do what you have to do.
And what are the top three challenges you have being an entrepreneur? And how do you overcome those challenges?
Consistency is one thing. Uh, the top three, well, the first one would be consistency. When you're self-employed, you don't have consistent pay. You don't have, things just, uh, how can I put it? Well, consistency. The second thing that's pretty challenging as far as being self-employed is networking. Sometimes when you're networking with individuals, it's hard. Some people don't want to, you know, um, help you. Some people will, give you the run around. And a lot of times you have a lot of competitiveness up here. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, I really can't think of well, yes, I can. The third thing that I have a challenge with is um, this new day and age with learning how to market and stuff like that. I really have a challenge with that because I'm old school. Everything's written out, calls, cold calls. I'm not the best at social media, so I still do things the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I know because me and you, we have had discussions where I'm like, you can do this. You can do this. Like when we worked on getting your business Facebook page up.
Mhm.
And then I noticed how after helping you and after your friend helping you, I was like, look at her. She got these videos, she's doing this and she's doing that. And I think another challenge for a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in our age group,
Mhm.
35 and older, is we get set in our ways like like our parents do,
Yes.
and we don't want to change what we're doing, or
Mhm.
we don't want to learn new things. But I think with our generation, we're a little
Mhm.
more open to learning new things because one, we don't have no choice. It's
That's
either
right.
you do it or you don't do it. And
Mhm.
so what do you say to that entrepreneur who sits up there and say, well, I'm used to doing things this way? What advice would you give them to say, hey, sometimes you got to try something new?
You do. You have to try something new. Sometimes you just have to just read. Sometimes you just have to pay somebody. Sometimes you just have to pay someone and say, look, can you help me do this? Because usually when you're in a business for yourself, money is time. And I get that, So a lot of times, the new generation, they pick up stuff much easier than we do. And I have reached out to the younger generations for help with certain things that I just simply can't grasp at times. So that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah, and I love what you said because a lot of entrepreneurs don't want to spend the money. Why do you
Mm.
think it's important to spend money and invest in your business if you want that business to grow and be successful?
Well, you have to. I mean, it's like with anything that you do. If someone decide to go out and buy a car dealership, he's going to have to invest to make money. Any business you're in, sometimes it's harder than others, but you have to invest. Just like if you have a small business, like for instance, if someone is selling candles, you have to start somewhere. If you're selling jewelry, you have to start somewhere. You have to invest in business cards. You have to invest in, your names, your logos, um, uh, your tax information. If you're going to LLC it, you have to invest in those things, or it's not going to be successful.
And what are some things that you have done to from an entrepreneur perspective? What are some things you have done to make sure that your business is legally sound?
Well, first of all, I had to get a EIN number, of course.
Okay.
As when I started out doing investigations, again, I was a contractor. So we had to do those things as if we were working for ourselves. If I knew then what I know now, I would have uh, gotten a business name, but I put everything under my personal name. So, we had to get the EIN. We had to do the Dun and Bradstreet. We had to do, register everything. When I got the business name, I had to register through the Secretary of State. I did everything possibly that I had to do, and I LLC'd it because with the type of things that I do, a lot of stuff that I do are mobile work. It's mobile work. So I don't want to get caught out there or be sued. I have the E&O insurance. It's very important that you get insurance with any business because anybody in this day and time will sue you for the smallest things.
And can you please say that again? Why is it important to get insurance? That's why I wanted to have regular entrepreneurs on because, as you know, Aretha, I've been talking about trademarking since
Mm-hmm.
January 2022. I've been
Mm-hmm.
talking about how to financially protect your business and how to legally protect, how to,
Mm-hmm.
how to incorporate your business, why you need incorporation, a legal business entity, why you need insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you need to trademark, copyright, and patent what you
Mm-hmm.
have? So please explain as an entrepreneur why
Mm-hmm.
it is important for you to have, because there's a lot of people out there, business coaches I've known who have
Mm-hmm.
been in business for years and they
Mm-hmm.
make a lot of money, but they don't have no type of professional liability insurance. I met
Mm-hmm.
like people who are making natural products, they don't have no negligence insurance, products
Mm-hmm.
liability insurance. Why is it important for entrepreneurs to have insurance?
Because you don't want to get sued. If you get sued and somebody sue you personally, those are your assets. Your asset. You're not gonna be like if you're a homeowner. You don't want to get out there and have a business and you make a decision, a wrong decision, and someone sue you. They can sue everything that you worked hard for. And the insurance that you use is for your business. Use it as such. So if someone is to sue you, they're going to be suing the business, not you personally. They're not going to be coming after you for your personal assets.
Thank you so much. That's why I wanted to have you on because I knew that you would say that a lot of
Mhm.
people don't understand that you need to protect your business.
Mhm.
You need to protect it. And it might not be something that you can necessarily afford to pay for yourself. So yeah, sorry about that. We're going to
Okay,
get
that's
this
okay.
internet fixed.
That's all right.
Yeah, but you need some type of liability insurance for your business. And I'm
Mhm.
glad you said that a lot of people don't understand that if someone sues you, that liability insurance, like say you something happens, your insurance company
Mhm.
will actually give you an attorney to represent you
Mhm.
because that's part of your
Mhm.
premium that you pay every month. Now your
That's
premiums may
right.
go up afterwards, but at least you don't have to worry about getting an attorney. Now, can I just ask you a general question?
Mhm.
Um, Why do you think it's important for entrepreneurs to consult with an attorney?
Very important. An attorney is going to give you the best legal advice because they don't want to get sued. So, an attorney is going to give you the best legal advice possible. You want to get that information from an attorney that practice what is it, Don? I can't think of
Business
it.
law, business
Business
law.
law. Yeah, you want to get an attorney that's going to do that because they will tell you the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, the wills, the wants. They will give you all of that. And like I said before, you have to invest in your business. Now, it is some things that I still have to do, but as far as liability, I have $1 million liability policy. It's only a little bit over $100 a month. If you can go get your nails done every 2 weeks, you can get liability insurance.
Exactly. Say that again, and I'm gonna put that in the chat.
If you can get your nails done every 2 weeks or every week, you can sacrifice. It's what you call sacrifice. Now, I've had some ups and downs, but sometimes it's what you call sacrifice. I paid $100 a month for $1 million policy because most of the things I do are mobile. I am a notary. Um, a lot of things that I am that's under my business. It's the type of business that you can make a mistake, and I do not want to get sued. I work hard
That's
for the
right.
things that I have. So,
That's right. And like I said, if you can get your nails done every week, you can get liability insurance for your business. And it doesn't cost that much. And also, a
mm-mm,
lot of people don't understand that an attorney, you don't have to go with an attorney. Like I tell
mm,
people, if you can afford to go to Las Vegas every year for $1,000, you can take that
right.
$1,000 and put an attorney on retainer. Or
That's
they
right.
got like Legal Shield. And I even learned about another program like Legal Shield called Rocket Lawyer, and they have a monthly fee. And for businesses, I think it's less than $100 a month, and
Let me
you will
say
have to
this.
go ahead.
Okay, let me say this. Everything that I'm doing is under the protection business. I have different avenues of things that I do. It's under the protection business. Now, I have my integrity investigative support, but I'm partnering with business partners with a company called United Wealth Education.
Mm-hmm.
They have Rocket Lawyer. They help with your credit, everything. I got in that because credit, um, credit, I can't get it out. Bad credit is something that everyone needs to work on. It doesn't
Yes,
make sense to have bad credit when during this time, especially after COVID, everybody's losing their
yes.
jobs. Yeah, I understand, but it's worth you having those things. They have the last will and testament. Everything is involved. So a lot of stuff that I get in, yes, I have my own business, but I do other things as well, and this has a lot to do with protection. So the credit part, it have a whole um, um, network of things that you can get. So that's another part of my protection. Credit is protecting. I want to do something to protect your credit as well. So that's coming under my whole keys for protection that I use with the business that I have now.
That is wonderful. I love what you say because a lot of people don't understand the importance.
Mhm,
That's why I wanted to have you on, because I
mhm,
want entrepreneurs who are taking that responsibility, who are not just trying to get clients, make a whole bunch of money, but
mhm,
who are talking about, because a lot of people don't want to talk about, it's like they're afraid. It's like a taboo to talk about
mhm,
the legal and financial part of being in business. It's like a
mhm,
taboo to talk about how to make sure that your business is legally sound and
mhm,
financially sound. And it's like people are afraid to just have this discussion. And I think
Mhm.
this is a much needed discussion. And I
Mhm.
appreciate you talking about this. And I appreciate you because I've learned a lot from you. Like, I'm going to look into getting better liability insurance because I didn't know that you could get $1 million liability coverage for just $100 a month. And that's
Mhm.
why I do this show every week because I get guest educators on here who can educate you. And Aretha is just a entrepreneur, you know, a regular entrepreneur. She's not a business coach. She's not a legal expert. This is coming from her experience as an entrepreneur. She is telling you from an entrepreneur standpoint what she has done to legally protect her business, what she has done legally and financially, what she has
Mhm.
done to make sure her business is built on a strong legal and financial foundation. She got an EIN number. She's a LLC. She's a business entity. She has her insurance. She has her attorney. And I know she has an account because I know her. She's that
Mhm.
type of person. And like she said, you need to invest the money to make money. So,
Mhm.
Aretha, tell us about some of your services you have.
Whoa. Okay. So my main service that I'm trying to provide, and I'm pushing, is DNA testing. Over, I want to say 17 years ago, I started doing DNA testing thanks to Danya Zimmerman.
You're
Um,
welcome.
and she came to me one day. I gotta say this story if you have time. She came to me.
Sure.
She came to me one day and said, "Look, I need someone to do some DNA testing for me." She was a family law attorney. Sure. Let me reach out. Let me find out what I need to do. I had my business then. I had a business name, but at that time I wasn't. I didn't have the necessities that I really needed to really have do what I'm doing now, actually. So I reached out to several labs, and at that point, I was able to have a corporate account with them. And she would tell me, "Look, Aretha, I have a person here. They need the court file for them to get a DNA test. I need you to go take this test. Where is it, Danya? Tell me where it is. Just tell me what to do." And I did it. So ever since then, I've been doing it for a while. I took a break. I had a contract with Montgomery County Child Support Authorities for probably about a year. Um, I do the pre-employment screening. I'm sorry. I do research, background checks. So with the DNA testing, the background searches, people searches, they go hand in hand. So, say for instance, if someone need DNA testing, I can do those. We do mobile. We're also looking for distributors. We're also looking for collectors as well. So, I do have a corporate account with one of the top labs, and they're a reputable, very reputable company. Not only I do that, I do process service. So, some people do call me from time to time and say, "Look, I have to serve this person. I need a divorce. I need to find this person. This person skipped out on me from paying the rent." And we do process service. A lot of times I will um, source it out to other people to do. I don't take criminal law at all. I don't do criminal law at all. I do court filings, court research, fingerprinting, but I only do the FD 258 cards. That's it. And sometimes I will source those out as well. Um, Field inspections, I source those out. Mystery shopping, I was doing that at one point, and I do it every now and then if it's good. But that's about it. I am a notary for the state of Maryland. I've been a notary for over 20 some years. Um, Again, I do the credit repair, and I also certified to do self defense instructions. So I do sell self defense products as well. So everything I do, again, is under the protection uh, realm.
And it sure is. And I think all entrepreneurs need that. So did I type this right? Integrity ISSLLC.com.
Yes, yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
So if you are an attorney in the Maryland area, she does, you heard what she said, processing, DNA testing, some
Mhm,
background check, fingerprinting. If you are an
mhm,
employer and you need someone to do basic, background checks and you're in the Maryland area, she does it all. And
mhm,
she's a great person. She's very She's very consistent. She's always on time. She doesn't like last minute stuff. So I'm gonna let you know that right now. So she's a good
yeah.
business, good individual to do business. So check out her
Mhm,
website, integrityissllc.com, and she has those services for you. If
mhm,
you are an attorney, you always need someone to do private processing. You always need someone to do DNA testing. You
mhm,
always need someone to do a background check on somebody, and she's a good fit. And if you're an employer, her services can fit you too. And if you're someone like me who has a few blemishes on your credit report, get with
mhm,
her. She does
mhm.
it all. So, Aretha, I want to thank you so much for being
Yeah.
on here. And what is one last tip that you want to give to entrepreneurs out there when it comes to protecting their business legally and financially?
I would say make sure you follow the steps. I don't care if it's a slow step, just follow the steps because you have to have everything that you need. Just follow the steps. If I don't care if it's um, do one thing per month. I don't care how long it takes. Just make sure those steps are being followed. That's pretty much it.
I've really enjoyed your Aretha because you gave the perspective that I'm trying to educate. And Aretha is one of my best friends. We always help each other out. And the information that I'm giving to you, I gave to her. And as you can see, she has been following my steps. She has been listening. So this proves to me that what I'm saying is relevant, what I'm saying is important. Some people don't want to hear it. Some people just don't want to address the hard parts of being in business. They want to
Mhm,
deal with the easy parts like looking good, all the marketing. I need to
mhm,
go get a photo shoot. I need to do this. I need to do that. But they really don't want to focus on the hard work of legally and financially protecting your business. And like Aretha said, she has a liability insurance. She has an attorney. She has an accountant. She has her EIN number. And I know she has a business account. And I know
mhm. Oh yeah, that
while
too.
she is incorporated, I know that for a fact.
No LLC. I mhm.
Employer in the Maryland area and you need certain services like background checks, private processing, DNA testing. Also, if you're someone who needs to get their credit together, she's a good resource. So, Aretha,
Mhm,
I just want to thank you so much for being on. And
mhm.
next time, I'm gonna make sure I let you know way in advance because I would love to have you on again because I plan to have a panel of entrepreneurs to continue
Okay.
to talk about what did they do to legally protect their business. So it's integrity ISSLLC.com if you need
Mhm,
any services, if you're an attorney in Maryland, an
mhm.
employer in Maryland, or just an individual in Maryland. She has the services you need. And reach out to her. If you say, Danya, what's your friend's email address? I'll have it for you. And Aretha, you have a beautiful evening and enjoy the
Okay.
rest of your week. And I will talk to you later. Take care.
Okay.
And
Uh,
thank you so much.
you're welcome. Thank you, Danya.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. I want to thank Aretha so much for being on. And as you can see, what I'm talking about is very important. I wanted you to get that perspective from an entrepreneur of what it means to legally protect your business. And like Aretha said, she has a liability insurance, and she said that every entrepreneur should have some type of liability insurance because you never know, you may have that one customer that is not satisfied with your services and they may decide to sue you. So you need to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself and make sure that you are protected. You cannot be in business and continue to be in business and not protect yourself. That's the issue I have. And I am so glad that Aretha was on to talk about the importance of what it takes to really run a business and what it takes to make sure that your business is legally and financially protected. And now I'm going to have another entrepreneur on, um, Mr. Michael Thomas. I'm getting ready to bring him on, and he's going to talk about why it's important for you to collaborate with others, why it's important to be in partnership with others. So I'm going to have them on. And this week, I just wanted to showcase some wonderful entrepreneurs that I have met, entrepreneurs who know the struggle of being in business, even when people don't want to hear what we have to say, even if people are not really interested in our products and services, knowing that it's a much needed thing. So, Mr. Thomas, I want to thank you so much for coming in. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, good. And yourself? Thank you very much for having me to come on.
Oh, no problem. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming on. So I want you to let people know, tell us a little bit about what you do and what are you trying to do for the community?
Yes, thank you for asking, Danya. I'm Michael Thomas. I'm the founder of 1,000 Great Minds. And all these things I formulated myself. It's not a copy of anything that already exists. I don't believe that I need to copy things that exist, that I have my own creativity that stems from me out of needs and services that the community need. And so, what I've done is formulated a nationwide housing program that enables every desiring person in the country to get a house and a car debt free, no one turned down. So that's what the unique selling proposition of 1,000 Great Minds is, that we deliver homes and cars debt free, no one turned down. Homeless, jobless, bad credit, good credit, even existing homeowners can get into the program and pay off their mortgages. And so that's quite a unique selling proposition whereby no mortgage, no interest, no credit, no down payment, no rent, no job, no loan, no credit, no investor, none of these things, no debt, no one turned down. So before we are able to implement this program into the nationwide community in all 3,142 U.S. counties, we must have this system and system task force in place first, which is called 1,000 Great Minds. And so thank you for having me in order to get the message out that 1,000 great minds are needed from all work in business profession from A to Z, bringing all skill sets, know-how, intellectual capital, business acumen, and experiences to the table collectively in order to help start up, launch, direct, manage, and oversee this newly developed nationwide housing program that'll operate in all 3,142 U.S. counties coast to coast, that enables every desiring person in the country to get a house and a car debt-free, no one turned down. So that has been my quest up until now, is unifying these 1,000 great minds into this big business corporate entity, because this is big business. It's not small or medium-sized business. This is big business because we intend to deliver 50 million homes and 50 million cars to 50 million people deliberately.
And what was the reason behind you starting this program?
Would you say that again? My earpiece came out, Danya.
Okay. What was the reason? What was the reason for you starting this program?
Well, I've been subjected to rental eviction, mortgage foreclosure, car repossession, homelessness, all of that. And I didn't like the experience, and I said there has to be a better way. And as a result of me experiencing these things, it made me think that why is it like that, and I decided, or just a logical conclusion, that no one has come up with a way to get around it, and it's just one way. The paradigm that we're living in is the paradigm that we were born in and our parents were born into. We didn't create it ourselves. It was created by someone else, and it always involves credit. The ABCs of D is which is leads to F. And as a result of experiencing these things, I come to these conclusions about why it happened. So this ABCs of D thing is we always have to have an account, whether it's a Social Security account, a car loan account, a home loan account. And then B, we are always the borrower. And I'm not an advocate of credit. And I want to let everybody know that if you're bringing something to me about credit and borrowing money and stuff like that, I'm not that advocate, because I know we're wealthy, but we have to reset. We just have to turn the notch one way and get into the wealth mindset. So A leads to B, which we are always the borrower, and B leads to C, where we always need credit. And C leads to D. And C leads to D, where we are always in debt because we're borrowing because we needed credit. But E is the whammy of it all, that we have just unconsciously, we're not aware that we are set up for an E, an eternal life in debt. And I saw that. And E leads to F, which is failure, in my opinion. And that's my philosophy. That's my school of thought. And that's what I teach. That's what you're going to hear from me. So anyone, bringing credit repair, credit scores, anything like that is useless to me, because I am wealthy. And when everyone else copy my wealth mindset and add it to their conscious mindsets, that we are all wealthy and we don't need anyone's credit. We don't need to borrow any money from anybody, because we are wealthy, and wealth begets more wealth by creation design. Those sheep don't need our help to create more sheep. Those fish don't need any more fish to create more fish. Those chickens don't need any help to create more chickens. So wealth begets more wealth by creation design when you harness wealth and get control of wealth. And so I've been inspired through my rental eviction, in my mortgage foreclosure, in my car repossession, in my homeless. I've been really inspired by it, because it sparked something in me that told me this, that I don't have to live like that. And anyone else who got the consciousness don't have to live that way either.
And you are absolutely right, because I remember hearing stories. My grandmother's 94 years old, and she grew up in like Darlington, South Carolina. And I remember hearing stories from her about how her family, everybody owned a house. Everybody had a farm. And whenever someone needed money, the whole family got together to make sure they were able to pay their property tax, to pay whatever lien that was on their property. And it makes me think of what you're doing is what we used to have before they destroyed our beautiful towns, what we call the Black Wall Streets. Because if you think about in Alabama, Florida, it was a lot of Black Wall Streets where we created our own banks, created our own hospitals, created our own schools, and where all our money came back into the community. So if, say, like you wanted to make sure that everybody had a house, everybody in the community will put their money together and build a house. And you make me think of back in the early 1900s, the 20th century, where Black people, if you think about, I don't know if it was Detroit or Chicago, where the Black man, was it Detroit, where he made the town Detroit, or Chicago, what's his name? In history, they made the town. I think it was Detroit, right? Or Chicago.
I'm not sure, but I should know that, because I look out for that type of information.
Yeah,
I need to find it to get the history of it.
Yeah, but it was someone who started the towns, and a lot of Black people built our own towns. The churches built the towns, and they didn't like that. They didn't like us being independent and not depending on them. And like you said, debt makes you depend on people. Credit makes you depend on people. And we need to get back to that, where we're giving back to our communities. It's like basically what you're doing is you want to bring back Black Wall Streets, where we're helping each other. And that's what, if you think about like the Asian communities, that's what they do. If you think about other communities, that's what they do. The Jewish community, that's what they do. And you are absolutely right. That's why I wanted to have you on, Mr. Thomas, because this message needs to be put out there, that we need to start supporting each other Whereas we no longer need to be, in debt. We don't need credit. If we all pool our resources, our money, our resources, our talent, like W.E. Du Bois said, the talent 10th,
Talented 10th.
the talent 10th.
10%. Yes.
Yeah, 10%. We all need to pull our resources together and get back to what is needed in our community, which is for us to support each other, not just financially, but with our experiences and with our talents. And how can we find out? What's your website again, so I can put it in the chat?
That's 1000greatminds.com, 1000, like on my shirt, 1000greatminds.com. And it's just a one pager for anyone who'd like to get more information to send their information through. And then I'll send them content back, where they can begin to make sense about what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because that we need this. We really do. Because it's not out there. And that's why I try my best to support other minority entrepreneurs. I try to support small businesses in my community. I try to give back to in my community, because I think that's important. And what you're doing is amazing. So what is some of the criteria if you wanted to join your organization?
Need people who are outside the I box and outside the E box, the electronic box and the internet box. It used to be outside the box, but they said there is no box. So I say the I box. I create a new box. Skills is a box. Outside the box, problem solution oriented, mountain mover thinkers, people who recognize simple biblical principles: asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, all things are possible. And I can tell when I'm speaking to someone, and I always default to these things, when I tell them about delivering 50 million homes, 50 million cars, 50 million people debt free. Then if you don't believe it's possible, then you are refuting and denying your own scripture. And I default to that, and let them know that you're not qualified because you don't have enough faith to have a logical plan, to make this happen, comprehending that we are less than 1% of all the knowledge that we need to get the job done, that the other 99% is an unknown. And we just get that portion out of the unknown that we need as we move forward. You see, because I don't have all the answers, but I have a very detailed plan, very logical plan. So we need, people who have faith and who are inspired to help other people and who don't listen to other people who give them lesser value in their speech. Someone's telling you to go into debt, repair your credit, and you're a credit counselor. I don't advocate that. I advocate that you're already wealthy and that you already have the best credit that you're going to ever have. And that's your oxygen and your intellect. If you would just use your intellect and turn the dial to wealth, just snap it over to wealth, just one shift, and follow what I'm saying and add it to what you know and what they know and what we know, the intellectual property and intellectual capital, the business acumen, the skill sets, the know-how that we collectively know. And we are so close to the Almighty, that, I don't know what I'm giving you all I got. That's all I have.
No, I understand. And why do you think as entrepreneurs, especially in our community, we need to do more collaboration with each other?
One thing, a huge thing, is that it creates deflation. If you notice, everything is going up and everybody's believing that it's going up and it's not coming down. We are just subconsciously believing it. Oh man, my $1 million house is going to be 1.5 million. It's going to be 2 million and 3 million, without any idea at all that it'll ever come down. And so we get out of that mindset of just believing, what we see and listen what these skilled people, so-called skilled people with these certificates and licenses and degrees and things are saying, and they're just following, what I call the European way of things, because this is a European system. We are part of that system. We were slaves to the system, and we have not taken command as the slave descendants, to write our own Declaration of Independence and Proclamation of Emancipation, So that's what we have to do. We have to take command and write our own lives. The education system, we have to readopt the old education system, that we had back in the day when everything gets straightened out, and we can put the belt to someone until they say, "Oh, I got my mind right now. I know now.
Exactly.
I know you're trying to do me right. You're not the one trying to hurt me." You see, and so these are some of the things that unification bring about. The deflation, and the way I just explained deflation, someone was selling me a program for unlimited websites for $47 a month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was 1,000 great minds buying unlimited websites, that would be about 4.7 cents, 5 cents per great mind. So we'd have unlimited website. That's deflation.
Exactly.
It doesn't cost me $47 a month. It costs us a nickel a piece. You see?
Exactly.
And that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes 4.7 cents. 4.7 cents. That makes sense to me, Donnie.
Yeah. And that's why I say good for entrepreneurs to collaborate and work together to lower costs of doing business, because people may not understand deflation. So sometimes you got to put stuff in simple terms. And that's what I find. When I collaborate and work with other entrepreneurs, we save money. We do an event to vent together, we save money. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, their problem is they want to do everything on their own. And you can't do it. You can't wear all the hats. You got to be willing, like Aretha said, you got to be willing to invest a little money to make money and save money. And that's the key. And in that prime example, if you get 47 people to give $1 for this website, that's only $1 per person. For
right. We're working on deflation. Yeah, we're working on deflation, not inflation.
Inflation, because like you said, the European way of doing business is everything, the cost of everything goes up, but the quality doesn't. You notice that? The quality and the quantity stays the same. But if we put all our resources together and pool our resources together as a community and work together, deflation, whereas the quality and quantity goes up, we continue to make money because we're working together. We're pooling our resources together.
Sound like China to me. Sound like China.
China, yeah.
You see,
if you pool your resources together, if you get with a bunch of entrepreneurs who have who business are similar to yours, who are like-minded like you, and you work together and pool your resources together, you can get more customers that are willing to pay for your services because you are working together as one. So go ahead. Do you have any thoughts about what I said?
Yes, definitely. A person who's working a small business, a sole proprietorship or LLC or whatever it may be, in the conglomerate setup and framework, you'll become more wealthy faster by conglomerating, than you would doing a solo soldier. It's best to work in an army rather than solo soldier because you have so many obstacles to go through in the first place that you're dealing with in reality, not just virtually, but reality. You're dealing with credit. You're dealing with credit score. You're dealing with second party Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet, everyone grading you. If you grade yourself, you realize that you have the best grade you're going to ever have right now. And that's your oxygen and your intellect if you would only reflect. You see, you don't need someone to grade you, look you over, turn around. Let me look you down, and that kind of thing. And grade, give me a grade. I got a good grade and you need to follow me and I need to teach you how to upgrade. And that's irreality to me, for somebody else to grade me like that there, I got enough of that in school, and so I just got to a point to where I recognize that the one above all, is the one that's got all the sense. And that's the one that I follow. And I follow asking you shall receive and seeking you shall find. Very simple, elementary things. I was just on Clubhouse just a moment ago. So I'm looking for 2 business partners with $250,000 each so that I can go into federal government contract. I can use their bank money in my bank account. And I just put on there need 2 business partners with $250,000 each. And it's seek and you shall find. And I'll stay on there for 30 days with the same headline on Clubhouse every day and nobody show up. But one day somebody's going to show up with the money. That's all I need to do. I don't need to play any games with anybody. I don't need to play around with my topics. When I put a topic on there, I mean to get something out of it. I'm not this topic today, this topic the next day, this topic the next day, and that kind of thing. Yeah, but I have a deliberate intent, to achieve an objective, in a shorter period of time as I can achieve it.
And that makes sense. That's one good thing to do with as an entrepreneur is you have to be consistent and you have to ask. And that was one thing I had an issue with. I wasn't determined like you, Michael. I didn't have the drive. I would do a show here, there for a few weeks. And then if I didn't get results, I'd be like, oh, forget it. But I've learned over time, you have to be consistent, even if you don't feel like doing it, because you never know. And another thing is you never know. People may not be looking at you live because a lot of times people don't look at my live shows. A lot of my customers come from replays. That's why on Clubhouse, I keep my replays going. And like you said, if you're consistently on, that's how me and you connected. Because you were consistently on and something told me, Danya, just get in there and listen to
I reached out to you, Yeah.
Yeah. And I kept saying, let me listen to him. And we had a good conversation on Clubhouse. And that's when I say, hey, you need to be on my show. We need to talk, to spread it. And another thing is, one thing I'm glad is that people are really waking up about the coronavirus. More people are getting what they need to do to take better care of themselves, whether it's holistic or get the shots. But people are starting to realize in order for us, like you said, to get out of this box, this computer box, this virtual box. I call it the virtual box because I hate it. I hate it. I would love to meet people in person. For us to get out of this virtual box, internet box, technology box, we have to do what we have to do to protect ourselves. And I'm a substitute teacher. I work at a school and I wear my mask. Everybody else walking around without their mask, I keep my mask on. If it's just me in the room, I take my mask off. But I notice because I got corona and it's not pretty. When you have corona, it is no joke. But I did the old school healing. My grandmother, 94 years old, me and her, she caught it from me. And she gave me old school remedies like the hot and tartar. You know what I'm talking about. With
yes. That'll kill it.
She gave me that. We had made homemade soup. She taught me how to make a homemade chicken noodle soup. And it worked. And I said, if my 94-year-old grandmother, and she took the shots. We took the shot, but we used the holistic, the old school way of taking care of you. And it worked. And I said, if my 94-year-old grandmother can overcome this, I can overcome anything. But the key was we worked together. Me and her worked together so both of us could be healed, so we could recover from it. And like you said, collaboration, partnership is key in our community. And we're lacking that in the Black community. And I am so glad, Michael, that you came on. What is one tip that you want to give to entrepreneurs in our community? What is that one thing you want to tell them?
I'm biased because I'm shooing people to 1,000 Great Minds. I'm biased. And I was put out into the Clubhouse audience because I was asked a question and I answered the question. And I was telling them about 1,000 Great Minds. The guy said, you coming up here to push your business. It's not that. I know that I have high value in what I'm doing and I'm totally sold on what I'm doing. And I'm not sold on what everybody else is doing. And this is what I advise that I give to this lady. Go to 1000greatmind.com website and send your information through and find out what I'm talking about. But the advice that I give is to consider coming on board on the ship of 1,000 Great Minds, becoming a member of 1,000 Great Minds, because we are unifying a conglomerate of Black businesses. And since we have a real estate-based program, I know, and the public knows, that 90% of millionaires make their money in real estate. So we're talking about delivering homes in all 3,142 counties, whether you're in the real estate or whatever it may be. You need to come on board 1,000 Great Minds, in my opinion, because we have a real estate-based program. And don't just think that, I'm just doing it for me. You will see yourself in my business plan. In the first 5 months, we intend to deliver a house and 2 cars to each Great Mind, in addition to a $1 million stipend that will be dispersed to each Great Mind on the 3rd day of each month. It's $17,500 per month for 60 months. So that's what's called a Plan 76 Economic Stabilization Plan, whereby we work 76 part-time hours from our home. And at the end of that 76 hours, we get this $2 million stipend. Buy your house and 2 cars, $25,000 clothing allowance. And we put this subsistence allowance valued at $2 million into an escrow account dispersed to each great mountain on the 3rd day of each month at $17,500 per month for 60 months. You're stabilized. You're more stabilized than anyone who's got a 5-month account or 3 months mortgage payments, 9 months mortgage payment. We have to stabilize for 5 years because we're getting into wealth creation, wealth development, and wealth management full time. We're getting into wealth creation, wealth development, and wealth management. You must be full time. So I've written a small 76-hour process over 5 months, 8 hours first month, 8 hours second month, 20 hours third month, 20 hours fourth month, 20 hours fifth month. At the end of that 76,000 hours of work collectively, we should each be stabilized. We have no rent, mortgage, or car payments to pay, but we have a home and 2 cars. And also we have our income set up for the next 5 years. And so we're most stable. And so that's what I advocate. That's what I teach. That's what I preach. That's what I say. And I'm not buying anything less than that, about borrowing money and credit from people, where I'm a slave.
And I love that. And that's because I live in Baltimore City, and you probably heard on the news about us, all of these vacant houses. And it's like you got the homeless people, and you're tearing down all of these vacant houses, and you're not building no houses. So that's why I think 1000greatminds.com, you need to check it out, because this idea is great. This idea is wonderful. And I think you should come on board with me and Michael and join the 1000 Great Minds, because what he is trying to do is he's trying to really get rid of homelessness in the United States. No one who lives in this great nation should be homeless. And if we as entrepreneurs, small business owners, put our resources together and do what we have to do, this can happen. I'm not going to say I believe. I know this can happen.
Yes, we're about eradicating homelessness in America and poverty in America. There are 9 million people in poverty in America. I've written a program to generate a $52,000 annual income for each person in poverty. And also, because they won't have any rent or mortgage to pay, and they have a car without any car payments to pay, they be in better shape than many people around the world. I'm talking about eradicating poverty in America first. There are 9 million blacks in poverty, and we can erase that. We can capitalize black businesses through 1000 Great Minds in all 3,142 U.S. counties, who will employ and train black people, specifically black people, because that's what my family is. And I'm working with my family first, before I can get out to the rest of the world, even though we'll be doing B2B with Spanish, Chinese, Arab, whatever, Indian, whatever it may be. But we got to get our own family straight,
Exactly. Work with your community first, and then go out like other communities do. They work with their community first, then they go out and help others. And Michael, I want to thank you so much for being on. Go to 1000greatminds.com. Ask for more information, because I think that if all of us entrepreneurs in our community put our resources together, we can really be a force to reckon with. And not only will this help us in our communities, but this will help us politically as well.
Definitely so.
A lot of people don't realize that if you look at the Jewish community and you look at certain communities, they have more clout politically than we as Black people do, because we are not unified. And what Michael was really trying to do is unify us as a whole, as one. And I think he got his idea from W.E. Du Bois. I can tell he probably read all of W.E. Du Bois' books. He looks like he's a W.E. Du Bois fan. See, I know things, Michael, because I was raised by a father who taught us to be proud of our history. And one of the
genes are formidable. Yes.
Yeah. And I can tell, because I've read a lot of W.E. Du Bois books, and everything that you're saying is ideas that he had. And I know you read Malcolm X's book, because everything you're saying is ideas he had. And I know you read Dr. King, because you have all of the great minds.
There you go.
You took all the great minds, Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan, W.E. Du Bois. You took all of what they had to share and Thurgood Marshall, and I can tell that you said, you know what, we need to get back to this. I need to go old school on people, but do it in a new school way. And I thank you, and I will be there to support you, Michael.
Thank you.
Because I think that this is, especially for our community, we need this. So we're going to stay in touch. And I'm going to join 1,000 Great Minds. I already told Michael anyway.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have to protect our intellectual property, so Danya. You have to protect our intellectual property. I'm aware.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. And you probably heard when Steve Harvey did the Big Shots, and he lost his intellectual property to America's Got Talent when he was talking about that on the interview. Yes. And that's another thing in our community. We need to really read and do our research. Really read, go back into history, because our kids are saying crazy things. And then I'll let you go. One little girl, she protested in high school saying that Dr. Martin Luther King freed the slaves. So you know what type of educational system we have. And I work for the educational system. And the reason why I work for the educational system is so that my kids, our kids, can know their history. And I have one student that I've been in contact with. He didn't even know that the richest man in the world was Mansa Musa. He was an African. He was the richest man in the world. He owned a lot of land, and he did exactly what you did, Michael. He shared with his fellow tribemen, you know, even if different tribes. He was very smart, very intelligent. And this young man, I have to send him books all the time about our history. And his grandmother said, Ms. Zimmerman, I had to find a bookcase, have my son build a bookcase for him, because you have him reading all of these great books about great Black people that I didn't even know about. And this is his great grandmother. So that tells you something, that we have to infiltrate their places in order to make sure that our kids know how valuable and how important and how smart and how intelligent they are. And I'm going to have you on again, Michael, because we really need to talk about this. And this is a deep conversation. And I want to thank you. And make sure you go to 1000greatminds.com. He's looking for 1,000 entrepreneurs, 1,000 thinkers, 1,000 educators, so that we can get rid of homelessness and get rid of poverty in the United States, because no one should be homeless. So thank you so much, Michael. And I will be in touch so that we can go ahead and start getting things done.
Thank
and
you, Danya.
You're welcome. And I'm going to end right here. And I want to thank you so much for being on.
My pleasure.
Don't forget to tune in, everybody, next week for the Ultimate Business Conversation. And you have a beautiful day. And hold on, Michael.